Erin Perrine, Director of Press Communications for the Trump campaign. Erin, great to see you. It has been a busy last couple of days. We've seen things shape up before the DNC with the nominating process now a whole ticket, a running mate for Joe Biden. I first just want to get your initial reaction.
Well, I'm actually here in Wisconsin, unlike the radical Biden-Harris ticket. And I can tell you, this is a state that's firmly on President Trump's side. Why? Because you look at the Biden-Harris ticket and you talk about a complete radical takeover by the left of the Democrat Party. Harris stands for Medicare for all, socialized medicine in this country. She believes in the Green New Deal. Try and talk about the Green New Deal and a ban on fracking in a state like Pennsylvania, or talk about the energy independence that President Trump has brought to this country. It's clear what Joe Biden thinks, that government needs to absolutely wreck the American dream that President Trump has been able to deliver for so many, to try and drive this country so far to the left. President Trump still stands firmly for freedom in this country. It's a clear contrast, and it's one we are excited to make.
You know, I do want to press in a little bit on this idea of wearing masks. And Erin, I don't know if you watched the show, but I pressed in and said, look, from the beginning, we were told that we needed to save all that PPE back for the medical professionals. So we do know they work because they do surgery, they protect the people that they're doing surgery on, and they protect us. So we know the masks work. But there's this conversation going on. And this simulation shows airborne transmission path of a sneeze with or without a mask, demonstrating the effectiveness of covering your face with a mask. Watch. All right. And I'm not sure what you can see on the ground, but it's a schematic with 6 feet and then 20 feet away, and you see most of the concentrations in that 6 feet. I'm wondering if there is room as you do your messaging for the president, and you're in beautiful Wisconsin today, and you're seeing people, is there room to say, I'm going to wear one, watch what I do, and just do that?
Well, President Trump has done that. You've seen him travel and wear a mask. You saw him wear one at Walter Reed. You've seen him wear one since. He's been very clear. The patriotic thing to do is wear a mask. I wear a mask when I travel across the country out here campaigning on behalf of President Trump and Vice President Pence. And so the president's been very clear, and he has put forward with medical experts CDC guidelines to help make sure that states have the resources and the information they need when it comes to masks and how it should be treated in this country. But the president's been very clear. The patriotic thing to do is to wear a mask when you can't socially distance.
Yeah. You know, and I'm wondering if he wants to, and Joe Biden as well. I mean, the word patriotism is one thing, but the word science is another. Maybe put them together. I don't know. All right, we'll move on to this. President Trump is telling the New York Post this about his RNC acceptance speech, quote, I'll probably be giving my speech at the White House because it is a great place. It's a place that makes me feel good. It makes the country feel good. And a government official says the speech would not violate the Hatch Act. I should throw that in. However, the idea has faced pushback from Democrats and even some Republicans. Democratic House Oversight Chair Carolyn Maloney said this, quote, while President Trump has ignored the law repeatedly throughout his time in office, surely he can find a way to accept the Republican nomination without putting federal employees in legal jeopardy. What is your response to that?
Democrats don't want President Trump to make a speech from anywhere in the country. If it's at Mount Rushmore, they go into hysterics. It doesn't matter where the president is. Democrats continue to live off Trump derangement syndrome. Listen, the president's going to deliver a beautiful and iconic speech about what he's been able to deliver and about his bold America First vision for the next 4 years when he wins re-election. Truly, it doesn't matter where he makes the speech. It's about the man. It's about accepting the nomination here for the Republican Party and about the leadership that President Trump brings to the table to be able to move America forward through the coronavirus, to rebuild this amazing economy he brought in the first place. Democrats don't care where the president is. They always have something bad to say. Maybe if they put that politics aside, I don't know, came back to D.C. and got some work done instead of staying away, we might see a little more success for America with President Trump, who's already doing so much if Democrats decided to put politics aside.
Erin Perrine, out on the campaign trail today in Wisconsin, making time for Outnumbered Overtime. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Harris. Thank you.